Hi, everyone. Hi, it's Jasmine. Welcome to today's Facebook Live. So make sure you guys can see me here. Hey! Hi, everybody. Okay, so it's Jasmine from Beyond Basic Blogging. I'm one of the OG bloggers. I'm also the creator of Miss Millennium Magazine. And today I'm going to show you all a little bit about getting to know your persona or your audience or your avatar, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of names for it. One, we need to start with why it's important to do it, and also how to do it. So you're going to learn all that from me today. So before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit about why I'm doing a Facebook Live today. Me and the other OG bloggers thought it would be a great idea to talk about different blogging tips for the entire week. So I'm starting today, yay! And then tomorrow, you guys will hear from Kamika, and then Melissa, and then so on and so forth. So this is just the first of many. So once you see them come in on the Facebook page, make sure you're RSVPing so that you can get all the goodies, get all the good information about growing your blog. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what a persona is, or an avatar. This is pretty much one person you're thinking about every single time you write a blog post. For some people, it's their best friend. For some, it's their mom. It just really depends. But I know for a lot of bloggers, the person they're writing to is themselves a few years ago. So think about the advice you would have wanted, depending on whatever that topic is that you're writing about 2 years ago. And that's one way to come up with a persona. But there's a lot more to take into consideration when you are thinking about a persona. One of those things being, what do they like? That's pretty important, so you can continue to create content that they like. Another thing could be, what do they want? And that's really important, especially when you're talking about sales. If you know what they want, then you know what they're willing to purchase. And that's important for you because then you know what to sell them. And what's even more important than that is, what obstacles are they facing to get what they want? So, for example, when I started Miss Millennium Magazine, it was for high achieving millennial women who are transitioning from college into adulthood. And they have all these hopes and dreams, and they have these big, big goals as far as like doing well in their career and doing well in their personal lives. But an obstacle that they would run into is not having the funds to do that. Another obstacle they could potentially run into is not knowing how to go about pursuing that dream career, or switching to a completely different career altogether. So that was important for me to know that, because then I can go on and say, okay, here's how you do this. Here's how you grow in your career. Here's how you can make more money so that you're doing well with your side hustle. Anyway, that's just one example of a persona. But in order to understand that, you have to know what obstacles they're facing. And to go even deeper when it comes to an avatar, you have to understand what are their fears, right? So you have obstacles, but there are also fears that those people are facing. What is holding them back within themselves from getting to the things that they want to get to? It could be, fear of seeming like a loser, or fear of having to file bankruptcy one day. It really just depends on whatever they're trying to achieve, the obstacles to get there, and their fears. Now, I do want to talk about, how do you get that information, right? So I talked about what you need to know about them. Now let's talk about, how do we get that information from them? Now, there are a few ways to do this. One way is to survey them. So it's easy. Send a survey out to your email list. You can do a survey on your website, like a pop-up, which is something I've done before. You can put a survey embedded into your blog post. If you're wondering, like, well, how do I even set up a survey? I have a really good source that I like to use. It's called Google Forms. And the best part about it is free. So yeah, nice little perk. At the end of this call here, I'll put links to all the different tools that I mentioned today below. So you'll have that. Okay, so surveying them, that's one way, Google Forms. Another way that you can see what they're into, see what they want, those obstacles, is by looking at what they're doing on your website, right? So, what articles are they going to most often? What are they clicking on? Do you notice a pattern when it comes to the type of content that they're reading? For example, with Miss Millennia, we talk about a number of things, career and finances, but my audience really leans towards learning about ways to make money on the side hustles. And this helps them with growing their skills for their career, as well as being able to put money into savings and just have more money to have fun with. So that's a topic that I noticed that they were leaning towards. So I decided to spend more money. I mean, not spend more money, but to create more content in that area. If you're not sure how to go about finding that data, another free cool tool is Google Analytics. If you don't have it already on your website, you should definitely download it. Get it on there so you can track your traffic. You can look at what countries, what cities, what states people are coming from for your content, a number of things. So it's pretty good. Another thing you can do is ask some questions. And I like doing this in emails. Most of the emails I send out to my readers it has a question in the end. So I'll tell them a story about myself, and then I say, have you ever experienced this? Let me know in the comment, like send me a reply, and I promise I'll reply back to you. And man, this has to be one of the best joys for me when it comes to blogging, just hearing from the readers, hearing their perspectives, and really getting an understanding of who they are as people, because I get to know them more, and that makes it easier for me to create the things that they want. When it comes to asking them questions in your emails, it's simple. When you're writing your regular newsletter, just put something in the bottom, or you can ask questions throughout the email. That's up to you. If you're not emailing your list, you should be doing that yesterday. And if you're not sure how to even go about getting started with this, just create a form, and make sure that you have that form embedded on your website so people can start signing up. And at the very least, send them something once a week. All right, I do a weekly newsletter. I talk about things that I've learned. I give them great resources, and I let them know about new content that is happening with my blog that week. If you don't use an email marketing platform, I highly recommend ConvertKit. Is what I currently use for my blog, as well as B3 uses ConvertKit as well. And they have a free trial for 30 days, I believe. And I'll give you guys a link for that so that you can sign up for it if you don't have an email marketing platform already. And what else? You can also ask some questions just on your website in general. So if they're posting comments, make sure you're replying to them, get an idea of what they're writing there, and the source of all these things, surveying them, emailing them, looking at your analytics and seeing what they're doing are great ways to figure out who your audience is and how to get to know them. Now, you guys should know this, but if you don't, we already have a really cool checklist on Beyond Basic Blogging for getting to know your avatar. And I'll give you guys a link to that in the comments below right after this call, right after my Facebook Live, so you guys can see that. And it's a really cool checklist. It really just goes down so that you can have details about your audience member. After you go out and you get all this research, and you are, all right, okay, I know these things about my audience. It's just a checklist for you to check those things off and make sure you're not missing anything that you should be knowing when you're writing an article to them. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little tip today. Like I said, Kamika's going to be going on tomorrow, and she's going to have some really good tips for you guys. She's talking about creating a daily blogging habit, which is great because Kamika is amazing at creating habits and staying productive and different things like that. So make sure you hop on. She'll be on tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. So come back to the Facebook page and check it out. Another thing you should know about if you enjoyed this little tip, I personally love getting a ton of free blogging tips and resources out there. You will definitely like a webinar that's coming up next Monday by Ruth Sukup. So if you've never heard of Ruth, be prepared. She's kind of amazing. She's been blogging for several years, and She's actually a seven-figure blogger. She's a creator of the website called Living Well, Spending Less. And she created the Elite Blog Academy, which is something that all three of the OG bloggers have attended. That's actually how we met each other, going to one of Ruth's conferences. Little quick fact there. But anyway, she's doing a webinar next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll put the information. Actually, I already have the information for that in the comments below. You can sign up for it. It's free. And she's talking all about blogging without limits, how to redefine your blog's potential by adapting to the latest industry changes. And I think that's huge because with blogging, it's all tech, it's all social media here, this thing going on there. And if you're not paying attention, like, it is so easy to be left behind. So she's going to talk through how she has overcome a lot of those things during this webinar. Like I said, it's free to attend. And I mean, Ruth is one of those people, like, if she starts talking, it's good to just be quiet and listen because she is making a lot of money. So I highly recommend you go. I'll definitely be there. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments and I'll make sure to reply there. All right. Thanks, everyone.